Hello, my dear friend. Can I ask you something personal? Have you ever looked in the mirror lately and felt like you're aging faster than you should? Maybe it's that new, persistent ache in your joints, a bit of that frustrating brain fog in the morning, or just feeling plain tired all the time. And perhaps you've quietly accepted it, telling yourself that this is just a normal part of getting older. But what if I told you that some of these things aren't normal at all? What if they are actually quite warning signs? And what if the very thing you did this morning for your health, like that fruit smoothie or that bowl of oatmeal, is secretly aging your body's cells faster than smoking 15 cigarettes a day? It sounds almost impossible to believe, doesn't it? But for so many of us, it is the quiet truth. My name is Dr. Peterson, and for decades, I've had the privilege of caring for thousands of patients as they navigate their golden years. But today, I want to share the wisdom of a remarkable man, a 98-year-old doctor named Hiroshi Nakamura. He has discovered that most of us are unknowingly shortening our own lives with a few simple, daily habits. He told me about one of his patients, a 72-year-old retired banker named Robert. Robert did everything right. He ate his healthy breakfast, he tried to stay active, yet he felt foggy and utterly exhausted. He simply couldn't figure it out. What Dr. Nakamura discovered in Robert's daily routine was so simple, yet so profound, that it completely transformed his life in just 30 days. And Robert's story, I assure you, is just one of many. In this video, we are going to walk through the 5 hidden longevity killers that Dr. Nakamura identified. More importantly, I will give you the simple, cost-free steps to eliminate them, starting today. This isn't about complicated diets or expensive supplements. It's about removing the things that are holding you back from the health you truly deserve. And please, make sure you stay with me until the very end. The 5th and final discovery is the most surprising of all. It has nothing to do with food or exercise, but science shows it's the single most powerful factor in determining whether you'll live a long, happy life or a short one. The information in that final section could truly save a life. Maybe even yours. Everything we'll discuss is based on Dr. Nakamura's decades of clinical experience and is supported by modern, peer-reviewed scientific research. This is real-world wisdom you can trust. Before we dive in, I truly want to know how many of us have felt this way. If what I just shared feels familiar to you, that feeling of aging faster than you'd like, please take a moment to comment with a simple yes below. It shows me you understand, and more importantly, it shows others in our community that they are not alone. Okay, let's get started. Alright, let's begin with the first and perhaps the most common longevity killer. Number 1. The morning blood sugar spike. Let's start with a habit that millions of us believe is the cornerstone of a healthy day. The so-called healthy breakfast. For decades, we've been told to start our day with a bowl of oatmeal, some whole grain toast, or a fruit smoothie, believing we are doing our bodies a great favor. It feels responsible. Feels right. But as I've seen time and time again in my practice, this seemingly innocent routine can be one of the most significant sources of accelerated aging. Here's the problem. These foods, especially when they are the very first thing you eat, cause a massive and rapid spike in your blood sugar. Imagine a quiet, calm lake at dawn, and then suddenly, someone throws a giant boulder into it. That's what these breakfasts do to your bloodstream. This sudden surge of sugar triggers a body-wide defensive reaction. It creates a storm of inflammation, a kind of silent fire inside your body that, over time, damages the delicate lining of your blood vessels and accelerates how quickly your brain ages. Now, why does this become so particularly dangerous as we get older? The reason is simple, yet profound. As we journey past our 50s and 60s, our bodies naturally become less efficient at managing these sugar spikes. Our cellular machinery, our pancreas, our insulin response, they just don't have the same resilience they did in our 30s. A breakfast that we could once handle with ease now puts a tremendous strain on our system. This creates a vicious cycle. Does this sound at all familiar to you? You eat what you think is a good, healthy breakfast, but by 10 o'clock in the morning, you feel an inexplicable wave of tiredness wash over you. That familiar brain fog descends, and you find yourself reaching for another cup of coffee or, worse, a sweet or salty snack just to make it to lunchtime. That, my friend, is the blood sugar roller coaster at work. It's your body screaming for balance after the morning shock. Modern science has now given us a window into this process. Research has shown that people who experience these regular, sharp glucose spikes have telomeres, the protective caps on our DNA, that are significantly shorter. Shorter telomeres are a direct biological marker of older cells. In essence, this habit is like adding 10 to 15 years of internal wear and tear to your body. This is exactly what happened to Robert, the 72-year-old retired banker I mentioned earlier. Robert was a meticulous man. He brought me his food journal, and on it, every morning, was his healthy smoothie. It contained a banana, a cup of berries, a scoop of yogurt, and a drizzle of honey. It sounds perfect, doesn't it? But when we calculated it, we found it contained over 40 grams of sugar. It was a sugar bomb disguised as health food. He had been unknowingly aging his body with this habit for 20 years. When we made one simple switch, the results were astonishing. He told me, with tears in his eyes, that it was like a light had been turned on in his brain for the first time in years. His energy was back, and the fog was gone. So, what is the solution? It's revolutionary in its simplicity. Dr. Nakamura advises eliminating these sugary and starchy foods before noon. Give your body a rest from that morning sugar shock. Instead, start your day with foods that provide stable, sustained energy. Focus on high-quality protein and healthy fats. Think of 2 eggs cooked in a little olive oil. Think of half an avocado with a sprinkle of salt and a few walnuts on the side. These foods nourish you without triggering that inflammatory storm. They set you up for a day of stable energy and clear thinking. I urge you, starting tomorrow, to try this one small change. Ditch the oatmeal, put the fruit aside for later in the day, and just see how you feel. If this information about breakfast was a surprise to you, please take a moment to comment on the word morning below. It helps me understand what resonates most with you, and it helps others see they are not alone in this discovery. Number 2. Chronic dehydration. Now, let's move on to the second silent killer. This is one that most people, and even many doctors, completely overlook. It's the fact that a vast majority of us are living in a constant, low-grade state of mild dehydration, and we don't even know it. You see, we tend to think of water only when we feel thirsty. But water is so much more than a thirst quencher. It is the river of life flowing through every cell in your body. It's absolutely crucial for flushing out the metabolic waste and toxins that build up in our system, for lubricating our joints to keep them supple, and for keeping our skin looking plump and youthful. When we are even slightly dehydrated, every single process in our body slows down. The river becomes sluggish. Waste products accumulate, and our bodies age much, much faster. Here is the tricky part, and it's something that happens to all of us as we age. Our natural thirst mechanism begins to diminish. It becomes less reliable. In our younger years, our bodies would send us a clear signal when they needed water. But now, we can be significantly dehydrated and not even feel the slightest bit thirsty. This is precisely why so many seniors suffer from the consequences of dehydration without ever connecting the dots. I want you to think about this for a moment. If you regularly suffer from constant nagging fatigue, if you have those persistent aching joints that you blame on arthritis, if you struggle with constipation or frequent headaches, it might not just be your age. It could very well be a sign that your body is desperately crying out for more water. It's a foundational problem that can masquerade as a dozen other health issues. The scientific evidence on this is startling and clear. Studies have shown that being just 2% dehydrated, a level so low you wouldn't even feel thirsty, can reduce your cognitive function, your ability to think clearly and focus, by over 20%. Imagine trying to get through your day with your brain power cut by a fifth. That's the reality for many. I'll never forget a patient of mine, a wonderful 69-year-old retired teacher named Susan. Susan loved her garden, but her joint pain had become so debilitating that she could barely kneel down to pull a weed. She was drinking some coffee, some tea, and maybe a glass of water here and there. When we put her on Dr. Nakamura's simple hydration protocol, the change was nothing short of miraculous. Within 3 weeks, she came into my office, moving with an ease I hadn't seen in years. She told me her pain was nearly gone, and she had more energy than she'd had in a decade. It wasn't a magic pill. It was just water. So, here is the beautifully simple solution. Don't just gulp down a huge amount of water all at once. most of that will just run right through you. The key is to sip consistently throughout the day. Your goal should be to drink a small glass of water, about 4 to 6 ounces, every single hour. Keep a glass by your favorite chair, and make it a habit to take a few sips every time you sit down. And here is a wonderful tip from Dr. Nakamura. Add a tiny pinch of natural sea salt and a little squeeze of fresh lemon juice to your very first glass of water in the morning. This doesn't make it salty, but it provides essential electrolytes that help your cells actually absorb the water more effectively. Your task is simple. Let's make hydration effortless and automatic. I'm genuinely curious. How many glasses of water do you typically drink in a day? Please let me know in the comments below. There is no judgment here, my friend, only support and encouragement for one another. Number 3. Chronic stress. Alright, the third longevity killer is perhaps the most powerful and pervasive aging accelerator in our modern world. And that is chronic, low-grade stress. Now, I'm not talking about the big, life-altering events that cause acute stress. I'm talking about something far more insidious. I'm talking about the day-to-day worry that can become our new normal, especially in retirement. The constant, simmering anxiety about finances, about our health, about our children and grandchildren. It becomes the background noise of our lives. We get so used to it, we don't even notice it's there. But our bodies notice. When you are in this state of constant worry, your body is being flooded, day in and day out, with a powerful hormone called cortisol. In short bursts, cortisol is helpful. But when it's always elevated, it becomes incredibly destructive. Cortisol literally breaks down healthy tissue, including your muscles. It tells your body to store fat right around your belly. And most frighteningly, studies have shown that chronic high cortisol can literally shrink the memory center of your brain, the hippocampus. The fundamental reason this becomes more dangerous as we age is that our internal off switch for stress becomes rusty. In our younger, busier years, a stressful event would happen, we'd deal with it, and our bodies would return to a state of calm. But in retirement, without the same daily structure, worries can feel endless and unresolved. Our bodies can forget how to turn off that fight or flight response. We end up living in a perpetual state of high alert, and this constant internal alarm is exhausting and incredibly aging. I want you to check in with your own body right now. Do you have trouble falling asleep at night, your mind racing with worries? Do you sometimes feel a sense of anxiety for no apparent reason? Do you find yourself holding tension in your shoulders, your neck, or your jaw? That is your body's physical cry for help. It's telling you that it is drowning in stress hormones. Scientists can now actually measure the biological age of your cells, and what they have found is truly shocking. Chronic, unrelenting stress can make you biologically 10 to 15 years older than your actual chronological age. Think about that. 15 years. I had a patient, Michael, a 74-year-old retired executive. He was a classic case. He was physically fit, he watched his diet, but he looked exhausted. He looked old. He carried the weight of his worries on his face. He learned to eliminate his key stress patterns. He stopped watching the morning news, which was just feeding his anxiety. And he started a simple practice of taking 60-second breathing breaks throughout his day. His wife told me, about 3 months later, that he looked 10 years younger. He was sleeping better, and he was smiling more. He had reclaimed his vitality. And that leads us to the solution, which is mercifully simple. You don't need a fancy retreat or a complicated meditation practice. Here is your simple fix. Twice a day, perhaps once mid-morning and once mid-afternoon, I want you to set a timer on your phone for just 1 minute. 60 seconds. And for that 1 minute, I want you to close your eyes and just focus on your breath. A slow breath in through your nose, and a long, slow breath out through your mouth. That's it. This tiny, simple action is powerful. It acts as a pattern interrupt. It breaks the cycle of accumulating stress and signals to your entire nervous system that it is safe to relax and enter a state of healing. Please, stop flooding your system with negativity from the news first thing in the morning and last thing at night. Protect your peace. Your longevity truly depends on it. If you feel that stress is a major factor in your life, please comment with the word peace below. Let it be a small commitment to yourself to find more moments of calm in your day. Number 4. Eating late at night. Let's move on to our fourth longevity killer. This is a habit that seems so harmless, so comforting, especially after a long day. And that is the habit of eating a late dinner, or having a snack before you go to bed. Many of us see it as a small reward, a way to wind down. But Dr. Nakamura discovered that this single habit is one of the most powerful disruptors of your body's natural anti-aging processes. Here is what happens. During deep sleep, your body is meant to be in what I call repair mode. This is when the magic happens. Your cellular cleanup crews come out, a process called autophagy, to clear away damaged and dysfunctional cells. Your body releases human growth hormone to repair tissues, and your brain flushes out toxins that accumulate during the day. But if you eat late at night, you force your body to make a choice. It cannot be in repair mode and digestion mode at the same time. And digestion, for survival, will always win. So instead of spending 8 hours repairing, regenerating, and detoxifying, your body spends most of the night simply trying to process the food you just ate. The vital repair work never gets done. This problem is significantly amplified as we get older. The simple truth is, our digestive systems slow down with age. A meal that might have taken your body 3 hours to fully digest when you were 40 might now take 5 or even 6 hours. So if you eat dinner at 8 o'clock, your body could still be actively digesting past midnight, right in the middle of that crucial window for deep, regenerative sleep. This is why so many people can eat healthy foods, but still wake up feeling groggy and unrefreshed. You might struggle with issues like acid reflux at night, or find that you just can't seem to lose that stubborn weight around the middle, no matter how carefully you eat. Very often, the culprit isn't what you're eating, but when you're eating it. It's a fundamental mismatch with your body's internal clock. The science on this is absolutely fascinating. Studies have shown that eating late at night can disrupt the release of your body's natural human growth hormone, our primary anti-aging and repair hormone, by as much as 70%. You are literally robbing yourself of your body's most potent youth-preserving tool. This was the key for Patricia, a 71-year-old retired nurse I cared for. Patricia was a lifelong nighttime snacker. She'd have her dinner, and then graze on nuts, or yogurt, or a piece of fruit while watching television. She came to me frustrated with her weight and her complete lack of morning energy. We made only one change. I asked her to stop eating after 6 o'clock in the evening. The result was staggering. She lost 15 pounds in 3 months without changing a single food she ate during the day. She told me her sleep was deeper and her morning energy was the best it had been since her 50s. The solution, once again, is beautifully simple. Dr. Nakamura's rule is this: close the kitchen at least 3 to 4 hours before you go to sleep. So, if you typically go to bed at 10 o'clock, your last bite of food for the day should be no later than 7 o'clock. Make dinner a bit earlier, and then be done. If you feel the urge to snack out of habit, have a warm cup of herbal tea or a glass of water instead. Create a new evening ritual. After dinner, clean the kitchen, turn off the light, and brush your teeth. These are powerful physical cues to your brain that the eating for the day is finished. I encourage you to try it for just 1 week. Establish a cutoff time for eating and stick with it. The improvements in your sleep and energy will likely astound you. Is late-night eating a habit for you? Be honest with yourself. Please comment yes or no below. It's helpful for all of us to see just how common this habit really is. Number 5. Social isolation. And now, my friend, we have arrived at the 5th and final longevity killer. And in many ways, this one is the most surprising and perhaps the most important of them all. This discovery from Dr. Nakamura has nothing to do with what you eat, what you drink, or how you exercise. It isn't a food. It isn't a habit. It's a feeling. And that feeling is loneliness. After studying the longest-lived people all over the world, Dr. Nakamura came to a profound conclusion. Social isolation kills faster and more reliably than smoking, obesity, or a sedentary lifestyle. Strong social connections aren't just a nice thing to have. They are a biological necessity for a long and healthy life. When we are lonely, our bodies perceive it as a threat, a state of emergency. Dr. Nakamura discovered that loneliness creates a state of chronic, body-wide inflammation that is more dangerous than smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. It puts your body under the same kind of constant stress as if you were under physical attack, flooding your system with those aging cortisol hormones we talked about earlier. As we get older, our risk for isolation can increase dramatically. Life changes. We retire from a job that provided daily social contact. Our children grow up and move away. And most painfully, we may lose a spouse or dear friends. A vacuum can be created in our lives, and it is all too easy to become isolated without even realizing it's happening. It's a slow, slippery slope. You decline one invitation, then another, and soon, staying home just becomes the default. But this has devastating consequences for our health. I want you to consider this. If you often find yourself feeling down or unmotivated, if your mind doesn't feel quite as sharp as it used to, it may not be a medical issue at all. It may be a connection issue. Your brain and your body are starving for meaningful human interaction. The research in this area is absolutely undeniable, and frankly, it is shocking. Large-scale studies have confirmed that social isolation increases the risk of premature death by 50%. Let me say that again, because it is so important. 50%. That's a higher risk factor than many well-known diseases. It's linked to a higher risk of heart disease, stroke, and dementia. I will always remember George, a 76-year-old widower whose wife had been his entire world. After she passed, he shut himself in. He stopped going to his coffee group, and he stopped returning calls. And I watched as he aged incredibly fast. He looked frail, and his memory started to slip. His children, bless them, refused to let him fade away. They gently but firmly convinced him to join a local walking group that met at the park 3 times a week. That one small step saved his life. He was hesitant at first, but soon he found purpose. He found friendship. He found a reason to get up in the morning. His entire health, his vitality, turned around completely. So, what is your prescription? It is beautifully simple. Your prescription is one meaningful social interaction, every single day. This doesn't mean you have to go to a party. It can be a simple phone call to an old friend you haven't spoken to in a while. It can be a 5-minute chat with your neighbor over the fence. It could be joining a book club, a church group, or volunteering for a cause you care about. The quality of the interaction matters more than the quantity. Please, I implore you, do not accept isolation as your fate. It is not an inevitable part of aging. It is a condition, and like any condition, it can be treated. Pick up the phone today, right after you finish this video, and call someone. That one single call can change the entire trajectory of your health. So, as we bring our time together to a close, let's think back on the friends we've met today. We've talked about Robert, and the simple, shocking truth about his healthy breakfast. We talked about Susan, and how the answer to her aching joints was found not in a pill bottle, but in a simple glass of water. We walked with Michael as he learned to quiet the storm of stress inside him, and we saw Patricia reclaim her energy and her sleep, just by closing her kitchen a little earlier. And of course, we remember George, who discovered that the most powerful medicine of all was a friendly conversation on a morning walk. Their stories, in their own unique ways, all teach us the same powerful and deeply hopeful lesson. True longevity, the kind filled with vitality and joy, isn't really about adding more complicated things to your life. It's not about another list of difficult tasks to perform. It's about having the wisdom to gently remove the few simple things that are doing the most harm. Your body has a natural, profound ability to heal and to thrive. It has an innate wisdom that is always working to keep you well. All you have to do is get out of its way. But as we both know, knowledge is only powerful when we put it into action. And I don't want you to feel overwhelmed, or feel like you have to change everything overnight. That's not how lasting change is made. Lasting change is made with one small, gentle step. So now, I have one important question for you. What is the one commitment you are making to yourself after watching this video? It could be as simple as, tomorrow, I will have eggs for breakfast. Or perhaps, I will drink a glass of water every hour. It might be, I will call my sister tomorrow, just to chat. Please, take a moment to share your personal commitment in the comments below. Reading your promises will inspire others in our community to take that first brave step for themselves. Let's create a chain of positive change, right here, right now. And if you found real value and a little bit of hope in our time together today, a simple like on this video lets me know that our conversation was meaningful to you. To make sure you continue on this journey with us, and never miss another video full of life-changing wisdom, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. It's more than just a button. It's you joining a community of friends, all dedicated to living our golden years with health and with dignity. Finally, I want you to think of one person in your life right now. Just one person. Someone you care about who needs to hear this message today. Please, share this video with them. You never know, that simple act of sharing might just be the gift of hope and health they needed to receive. Thank you for spending your valuable time with me. Be well, stay wise, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.